Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Luke with Camp Life Pros. I just want to take a second to talk with you guys today about the differences and the things I do and don't like between the B300k and the B300. As usual, I have my AC 200 Max. That's my main power unit. But let's just get started on this. So the obvious difference, this is about 75% the size of this one. It does have the same depth and width as the other B300 units, so if you're considering stacking, you're good. But let's look at the fronts and then we'll start diving into the batteries a little bit. So the front on this one only offers a single USB-A 12-watt output with a standard dust cover. It does have the battery indicator. They're both off right now. The battery indicator is every 20%, and as you can see, it has the black plastic battery, or excuse me, black plastic power output. And then moving on to the B300. The B300 offers a higher watt hour than the B300K. Could also have something to do with the size difference, slightly less watts than the actual B300 unit. The B300 offers a 12 volt 10 amp outlet for, the cigarette lighter adapter kind of stuff. It offers a USB-C that's 100 watts and a USB-A that is 18 watts. Now you'll also notice the power button has a slightly nicer finish to it than what the B300K offers, but this unit was about $2,200 brand new versus the $1,200 you'd pay for this unit. Something to keep in mind though is the maximum power input for your main unit. So I could do two of these for a combined around 8,000 watts, or two of these, which is going to get me around 6,000 watts because of the difference here. It's about 300 watt hours. The AC 200 Max is only going to take two of either one. It's not going to take more than that, and you do not hook the batteries in sync to go past that. Now both these units can be used with the AC 500 or some of the larger units. I just have the 200 because that's what I needed. Now we'll go ahead and turn them on and look at some further differences. So this one you're going to hit and hold it for just a second. Power's on, lights up. It does have a fan on the 300K, whereas the B300 does not. Turn them on, you'll see the main unit come on briefly and then go right back off. That's fine. That just lets you know, hey, you're feeding power into the unit. So we'll turn the main unit on. And I'm also going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to use the app instead of trying to show you all the display. So Bluetti's app connects Bluetooth to the device, and it will show you a grand total of 92%. Now this is the average of all three units. It's not 92% here and then these are at something different. It's the average. So when you go to the battery information portion, you'll see 91 on the main unit. Pack 2, which is where I have the B300 plugged into, it's sitting at 100, and then Pack 3, which is the B300K, is currently sitting at 86%. Now it will charge and discharge in sync. That is one of the things I like about the Bluetti products. So if you're feeding your 900 watts of power into this, being solar and the 500 watt block, I think it actually charges like 470. It will distribute equally and charge equally, just the same way it discharges. Now, for those of you that are wondering how the difference might work on the discharging process, seeing this is a lower capacity than this one, when you are sitting here watching it, right, and we're keeping in our mind the golden rule of over discharging. 15 to 10% is where you want to be before you turn it off or disconnect it. You do not want to run it down lower than that, otherwise you're going to run into issues. So taking our golden rule into mind, when we're running it, we keep an eye on it and we'll say, hey, all right, the B300K is down to 10%. Simple as this. Come over here, you hit the power button, off it goes. It did not turn off the main unit, it just happened to work out that way. But then you'll come out, you go right back in, you see that the average did adjust to 95%, and it will simply drop off the pack 3, which is where I had that plugged into. Now, it will not automatically come back on when you start charging. For instance, we'll plug up our power brick. Again, standard Bluetti power brick. We're going to plug it up to our AC 200 max right here. There we go. And we're going to plug it up to our wall outlet. You hear it come on, you'll hear it click over, and then it's going to start charging. So right here you now see it's pulling 470 watts from the grid, and then you come here and it shows battery status. It's charging the main unit. It will charge this one till it reaches 100% capacity, and then it will switch it to a standby. But as you can see, it has not kicked on the B300k. But if we turn on the B300k, lights up, give it just a second, and now you can see it's charging. That's what the blinking is, right? And we'll see it right down here. It has kicked pack 2, which is the B300, that is at 100% into standby, and it is now charging the main unit and the B300k, which is in the pack 3 spot. It will do the same thing if you're charging solar, or if you're charging from vehicle charging. Let's say you're using the Bluetti Charge 1, which is their new alternator charging system, which puts out, I believe, 560 watts to your unit. So keep that in mind. You can recharge from that, and if you have the right adapters, you can discharge and it charges in sync. Now let's go ahead and turn these back off, because I want to go over some of the physical differences. Power off. There we go. If they're hooked up, you can turn it all off, turn it all off from the main unit, but turning them all back on, you have to turn them on individually. Just to show y'all again. All on right now, right? Turn off the main unit, away they go. But they do not come on the same way. Neither model is any different in that particular respect. So let's go ahead, unlock, disconnect, unlock, disconnect. There we go. So now, go with that. So, some of the differences. For those of you that haven't watched my review on the B300 or the 300k, this is one of the major differences. It's not a big deal for me, but it's a deciding factor in what I want moving forward. So the 300k, still on top, is going to give you the battery input and output ports, so you can run multiple batteries in sync as long as your main unit supports it. Again, the manual will tell you which ones do and which ones don't. My unit here, the AC 200 Max, does not support that. It will take 2 batteries, but it does not support the chain linked batteries like that. So on the B300, you have recharge options. So This is your typical power block here, your Blue Eddy 500 watt power block. You can charge it there, or you can use the solar, or you can use Blue Eddy's new Charger 1. Any XT90 recharge method you can use there, while still offering the same two battery input and output. So if you have more than one and you want to hook them up, the chain link, synchronous style, whatever, that's an option for you. Now, the B300k does offer the additional mounting options. So I believe the Blue Eddy is going to come out with a mounting type setup where you can strap them down and bolt in place for the taller stacks. This is definitely not for mounting on the wall or anything like that. The unit itself being like 62 pounds, you don't want to mount that on the wall from 4 little bolts. The B300 has nothing on the back. It's similar to the front. It just says Blue Eddy, and the data plate is on the left end, which is kind of more easily accessible than the very back of it, but same time, not that big a deal. But as far as usability, the B300 operates almost similar to a standalone unit. It just doesn't offer the AC power options. So for me, the B300 was the more logical choice, and going forward in the future, I'll buy another B300 as an expansion. The 300k is great for just backup power, and that's really about it, because it doesn't offer a lot of options on the front as far as places to charge things. Myself, I have 7 kids. They are all 13 and under, so they have devices. My son, he has a YouTube channel, E-Man Tech. Great kid. When we're camping, it's all about the ability to give them a way to charge their devices, and they don't have to be in my tent with me and my wife and some of our smaller kids. They can be out doing their own thing. I can just give this to them, say, hey, put this in your tent. You can charge your devices from it. The USB-C and USB-A are an option. They can even run their own cooler from it if they want to. So it's just a more versatile option for me. But if you're just considering price point and emergency backup power, the B300k is not a bad option. It does not offer as much as the B300, but it's a difference of about $1,000 price-wise. So it's really up to you and what you think would be best for you. But for me and mine, the B300 is the way to go. That being said, if y'all liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this content, subscribe, and we'll catch you later.